Welcome back to another video with On Point Politics, and today we are looking at the latest battleground individual state polling as of right now. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want more content just like this. Make sure to follow the Twitter and join the Discord server in the description down below, and help us out in any possible way you can to donate to our GoFundMe to help us conduct national and state polling for 2024. Any support would be greatly appreciated. And so now back to the map. Basically, this is not my actual prediction, but merely what the latest polling in each of these states that are filled in blank are at right now, based on the latest poll that was conducted in that state listed on 538. If we go to the state of Nevada, the first state that is on here, we have a +2 Trump result out of the state of Nevada. Trump getting about 45%. With Harris getting 43%, Kennedy getting about 5% of the vote here. And we see that this was a 400 voter likely sample, Redfield and Wilton strategy, sponsored by The Telegraph, which seems to be a little bit of a more liberal news network. And so we're going to be putting that in the lean Republican column, as that is the classification that would be for that result. Just to let you guys know, anything that is 0 to 1 points is a tilt margin. 1 to 5 points of a margin is lean, and then 5 to 15 is a likely margin, and then anything over 15 points is going to be in that safe category. The next state is going to be the state of Arizona, where in the latest poll, Donald Trump, according to Redfield and Wilton strategies, he leads by 3 points in the latest matchup, with him getting about 46%, Harris getting 43%, Kennedy getting about 4%, and Oliver getting 1, Stein probably getting a little bit less than 1% there. And so we are going to be putting that in the lean Republican column. Both of these states voted for Joe Biden in the last cycle, so these would be both flips for Donald Trump if he were to actually carry these states in 2024. And Nevada actually hasn't gone to Republicans ever since 2004, when Bush won it by 2.6% in his re-election bid against John Kerry. And so now back to the map, we basically see the state of Texas is still blank. And if we go to the latest poll for this state, we will actually see, I wonder if they actually have a Harris poll here. We do have one. It is from early January. It's actually from YouGov with 1,100 likely voters. And we see that it is a 13-point margin for Trump. That is a huge margin against Harris, because Donald Trump has not won that state by that margin at all. I mean, he won it by 9 points in 2016 and then won it by 6 points in 2020. So a 13-point win for Donald Trump would actually be pretty impressive out of the state of Texas. He'd actually outperform John McCain's margin of 11 points from 2008. Looking at the state of Florida, this state has been trending and moving to the right ever since last year, and we see in the latest poll from literally just yesterday, basically 2 days ago, Donald Trump leads by 8 points in the latest matchup, getting really close to 50%, Harris being at about 39%, and so that puts the state in the likely Republican column. Georgia is a state where she's actually performing better than most of the swing states, but the latest Redfield and Wilton strategies poll actually has Donald Trump winning the state by about 5 percentage points. So that actually puts the state in the likely Republican column. The last time that a Republican won the state was actually Donald Trump in 2016, where he won it by 5.1%. Joe Biden actually won the state by a tilt margin last time around. And so with the unpopularity of the current administration and the nominee being Harris herself, who is in fact the vice president of the United States, being tied with an unpopular administration is not going to help you win states that the previous candidate narrowly won, especially since you're not running the incumbent president. And so that's probably why we see polling like that come out of the state of Georgia. North Carolina is the next state we are going to be looking at. And if we go to the state, we'll actually see that Donald Trump in the latest poll actually leads by 3 points according to Redfield, about 600 likely voters. So it kind of screens for voters who are more likely to turn out and we see that Donald Trump is winning by about 3 points. We see Georgia is voting to the right of North Carolina, like it did in 2016. In the state of Virginia, this is something that is very fascinating. We actually see from the latest polls from Florida Atlantic University, when you include all third-party candidates, you actually see with a likely voter screen, Donald Trump is up by 4 points in this matchup. And with a registered voter sample of 1,000 registered voters in Emerson College, which is a pretty reputable pollster, Trump is up by 2. So either way you put it, the state is in the lean Republican column for this video, which I find pretty astounding. If we go to the state of New York, we're actually going to see the latest SoCal Research and On Point Politics poll, where Harris actually leads by 11 percentage points, which would put the state in the likely column. Now, that may seem good, but if we actually go to the last result, Joe Biden won the state by 23 points in 2020. If we look in 2016, Clinton won it by almost the same amount. In 2012, Obama won the state by 28. In 2008, he won it by 27. So we see that clearly an 11-point victory in the state of New York would not be impressive for a national Democrat whatsoever. Now, looking at New Hampshire and Maine, this is something really interesting. Polling has actually come out of these states very recently that show Harris with a very, very impressive lead with a high sample size and likely voter screen that has her up by 8 points in New Hampshire. Now, the problem with this poll is they did not weigh these properly by party. What they actually did is they didn't necessarily weigh it right. So you basically oversampled Democrats in the poll by like 2 to 1. So there is quite a bit of Democrats being oversampled in this poll, but it still shows Harris up by 8 points. And for these videos, I have to update you guys as to what the top lines are. And so that does put the state in the likely column, very far away from Donald Trump of winning it. And if we look at the state of, that is actually Maine. Okay, so we're gonna put that there. In the state of New Hampshire, the same company actually did polling here as well. If we see the latest poll actually has Joe Biden, or Harris, up by 6 points with third-party voters. So that is very interesting that those basically came out on the same day, actually. And so that also puts the state in the likely Democrat column. And so now the final area is the Rust Belt. That's where the election is going to be decided. I mean, Donald Trump's already winning already here anyways, but this is where the election is mainly going to be decided as of right now. If we were to go to the state of Wisconsin, we see the latest poll is actually tied. And if we were to go through a historical aggregate of polling, it kind of shows mixed results. So for the sake of the video, because our election model has Donald Trump up in the state, I am going to tilt it towards him. But the latest poll theoretically is a tie in the Electoral College. But since he's up in the betting markets here, he's favored in our election model, and the polling is somewhat competitive, just for the sake of the video, to not leave anything blank, I will fill it in as tilt red for now. And so if we go to the state of Michigan, we will actually see Redigo Politics and SoCal Research did a poll as well. And we see Donald Trump actually leads by 3 in their latest sample in the head-to-head matchup for the state of Michigan, which will put the state in the lean Republican column, bringing Trump to his 2016 total of Electoral College votes. Looking at Pennsylvania, a state that's voted for Donald Trump, a state that voted for Joe Biden in the last election, with third-party candidates included, it is in fact tied. Now again, Trump is up in the betting odds here. He's favored in our election model. So for the sake of the video, I am going to give it to Donald Trump. Minnesota is the final state on the electoral map here. And we see the latest poll from Redfield and Wilton Strategies has Harris up by 3 points on Donald Trump, which would put the state in the lean Democrat column. And so that is it. Donald Trump leads with 325 Electoral College votes to Harris's 213 in the latest battleground state polling. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video. Make sure to go ahead and follow the Twitter and join the Discord server in the description down below. And make sure to go ahead and donate to our GoFundMe as well so we can conduct more national and state polls with SoCal Research. And I will see you guys in the next video. Just a reminder, we do actually stream daily, so that is something to keep in mind. I will see you guys very, very soon.